Well, there we go. That's Nigel Farage there pointing that out. And that story has gone far and wide. And we, of course, did start it here on GB News. To discuss this further, I'm joined by the Conservative Party MP, Sir John Redwood. Sir John, thank you very much. Great to have you on the show. Look, let's just start with that, if that's OK. Do you think that was a deliberate snub by Biden? And should we be very, very offended by it?
Well, it was clearly misjudged because a big part of his audience was the unionist community in Northern Ireland. They were unwilling to rejoin Stormont because of the way he had backed the EU over the settlement concerning Northern Ireland. And they were already saying to the media that they felt that Joe Biden was on the side of the Republic of Ireland and the EU and was not independent or neutral when it came to unionism and the United Kingdom. So to choose not to follow the normal procedure of flying the flags of the two countries concerned in the visit will reinforce that feeling amongst the unionist community.
You've been tweeting, Sir John. I'm just going to read one of them out now. President Biden withdrew too abruptly from Afghanistan without even telling the UK, backed EU policy which undermined the Good Friday Agreement, presided over damaging intelligence leaks, lost influence with Saudi, which has put the oil price up. Do you think he's thoroughly incompetent as well as hating the United Kingdom?
Well, I think those are four unfortunate examples where United States policy has gone awry, and we desperately want the United States to succeed and do well. They are our main ally, the world's strongest military power, and we normally agree with a lot of what they're doing with the promotion of democracy and freedom worldwide. But I think there have been some very dangerous wobbles in the last couple of years with President Biden. I think the hasty retreat from Afghanistan proved to be very damaging and costly, allowing the Taliban back in with all the awful consequences that followed and exposed ours and other allied troops to great difficulties in scrambling home. And we've now seen that in the case of the very difficult settlement between the EU, the UK, Northern Ireland and the Republic, the US was not prepared to intervene in a balanced way, and we've ended up with an agreement which unionists find completely unacceptable.
Do you think that there's something slightly ironic about the fact that a lot of people in this country didn't like former President Trump? In fact, I seem to remember a blimp of him wearing a nappy being hoisted above our capital city whilst he was in the country. And yet those same people were cheering for Joe Biden, who beat Trump at the last election. And actually, Joe Biden's terrible for Britain.
Well, I think it's certainly right that Joe Biden's policies in some respects have been damaging to us and the Western alliance. Now, I respect the normal conventions. The United States will choose who is going to be its president, and it's our job to work with whoever they choose. And I'm not on the side of the Republicans or the Democrats. I'm on the side of the United Kingdom. And I try to assess the impact of policy, whether it be Democrat or Republican, upon our interests. And at the moment, we have a Democrat president, and he has, in the ways I've just identified, made life considerably more difficult for the United Kingdom as a leading ally and a friend of democracy.
I just wonder whether the problem runs a bit deeper, Sir John. I mean, look, I've gone on record before, and I don't mind going on record saying this again, which is that I find it very difficult to believe that Joe Biden has his complete grip of control over America. I find that very, very hard to believe that there aren't a cabal of people behind the scenes who are, frankly, having to run the country a lot of the time on his behalf. And if that is the case, it does make me wonder who is making these decisions. And actually, is it worse for Britain than just having Joe Biden, who might have his views about Ireland and Northern Ireland, if there are actually people behind the scenes there who, for whatever reason, have decided that they really don't like us? But John, thank you very much. Great to chat to you, as always.
Well, I think we should respect who the Americans choose as their president and accept that he makes the decisions. And if he has delegated those decisions, they are still made in his name.